Greetings everyone, Slizzle466 here, and in today's video we're looking at some of the best wild decks to climb with from the Wailing Caverns mini set. Now I've got 13 decks to share with you in this video. Unfortunately, if you're not a fan of Warlock, 6 of them are Warlock. As you may have heard, Warlock's kind of out of control right now. But we're going to start off with some non-Warlock decks, starting with a Beast Hunter by Corbett. Now, Beast Hunter is back in the meta because of Serpent Bloom. Give a friendly beast poisonous. And what's really nice is you can take that and put it on your Dread Scale, so kind of like how Shaman has the Toxfin Flurgle combo, now Hunter has the Serpent Bloom Dread Scale combo. At its heart, this is an aggro deck, and you want to basically burst your opponent down by spamming out hyenas at very large attacks and giving them charge with Tundra Rhino. The other Hunter deck to look at is Killer Raccoon's Reno Hunter. Again, it's taking advantage of the Serpent Bloom Dread Scale synergy, so it's becoming pretty solid staple in Hunter decks. This specific build is quite a different one. It is a tempo build, so usually the Reno decks we see in these videos, they're secret based. This one's very tempo driven, and so it's very minion heavy. It's teched for quite a few different matchups. You'll see the Albatross in there for the Reno deck, so just to mess up the Warlocks trying to draw their entire deck. There's the Kazakus Golem Shaper in here, which is some great value. It's also got the Nagrin Slam, which is kind of cool. But otherwise, it's just, it's kind of a mid-rangey deck, and if this is the sort of deck that you'd like to play, then definitely give it a try. The next deck to look at is Aggro Rogue. Now, this is a different version of the one that I was using, but it's very similar. Aggro Rogue is really good in the current meta. I pushed up to relatively high legend with this list on EU. And what's really good is the Warlock matchup. This deck has a lot of burst. You've got that aggressive pirate start. You've got the hooked scimitar, which can be very deadly. It comes out at 4 attack basically. With Kingsbane, you got to buff it, so it's a little bit more time to get it going, even though the Kingsbane is bigger in the end. But it's the burst potential of this deck which is great. You've got the Sinister Strikes, the Eviscerates, and the Wicked Stabs. Keep in mind, in the mid game these do 4 damage, in the late game they do 6. So it's a ton of burst damage out of nowhere. Looking at Mage, we got Secret Mage. Secret Mage is actually incredible in the current meta. As unfortunate as that is for me to say, those Sluzzles very happy about this. This build is teched for the Steeler Warlocks, so that's why you see there's the Potion of Polymorph in there to mess them up. But otherwise, it's Secret Mage. It's a really good deck. Looking at Paladin, we start with Bodybuilder's Reno Paladin. Now normally, when I see a Reno Paladin list, I typically say someone threw 30 cards together and had some fun. That is not the case for this list. This list by Bodybuilder is rock solid. It's very well tuned for the current meta. I had something like a 75% win rate with this list when I was kind of playing around between Diamond 5 and Diamond 3. But it's got a Budinus in there, which is kind of cute. It's got the Dragon Queen Alexstrasza. It's got the N'Zoth, God of the Deep. So it is a menagerie list. But it is a tempo-based deck, so it feels a lot just like a mid-range Paladin, and it just has those it has those Highlander cards to help it out. But yeah, really fun list, definitely highly recommended. The polar opposite of this though is Aggro Paladin. Now this is a list by Kekken, and so this is the I guess you could kind of call it the new version of Tax Paladin. And so this is really all about letting your opponent not do anything. So you'll see you've got the Nerebar Weblords, you've got the Mana Wraiths, you've got Rebukes to block your opponent from playing spells. So basically it's all about I'm not going to let you do anything, and then I'm going to kill you with my board, buff it with Conviction, Blessing of Kings, win the game. Looking at Shaman, we've got only one list, but this list, when I initially saw this list, I thought it was bad. And then I started playing it, and I won 10 games in a row. In fact, I went, I believe, 15-4 to Legend with this list. It's absolutely insane. Why is it absolutely insane? Well, Shaman got a whole bunch of synergy to help it out. So the Wailing Vapor, it's a 1-mana 1/3. It scales with elementals. It's not that crazy, but it's a significant threat. You've got the Primal Dungeoneer. It looks kind of weak with the stats, but you draw a spell. If it's a nature spell, you get an elemental. So you don't always hit the nature spell in this deck, and that's okay. You know, you might get an Invocation of Frost. That's fine. But if you happen to get a nature spell, you get an elemental, which is great. And another nice thing is you've got the Cage Match Custodian, draws your weapon. The weapon here being Whack-A-Null Hammer. Again, I don't think this is the best weapon ever, but it really worked. You know, you got the Whack-A-Null Hammer, you've got the Arid Stormer, which you typically always have the Russian Wind Fury. So even though this is a Shudderwock list, I actually think I only played Shudderwock one game. I think I only played Galakron like once. It's basically an aggro deck, and then if things don't work out, that's okay, because you got some crazy late game. I also found that I was queuing into a ton of Big Priest, and you've got the Devolves, you got the Lily Pad Lurkers. This list is just nuts. I would probably slot it in around tier 2. So definitely this one, it's my favorite in this video. Definitely check this one out. Okay, so now we go on to the Warlock decks. So we start with Big Stealer Warlock by Flugel. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the combo, this is what you do. You play the Stealer of Souls, you play the Plot Twist to shuffle your hand into your deck, you draw all those cards, you hope that you draw the Violet Illusionist, the Mal'Ganis, or the Sense Demons to get the Mal'Ganis. You typically always do. And then once that's the case, because all of your cards cost health, not mana, and you're immune, you can essentially play everything in your hand, draw your entire deck. And so how this build works is it tries to get that combo cheated out earlier. So that's why you see there are the Demonic Studies in here to make the Stealer Souls cheaper. And basically what you want to do is you want to, once you get that Mal'Ganis or the Violet Illusionist out, you want to try and maybe protect it with a Scrapyard Colossus, play a Loathib so that your opponent can't play any spells to react to that, play Nerubian Unravelers to make those spells cost even more, and then you can kill them with the Alexstrasza. But basically, you just generate this board very early in the game that they can't deal with, and they concede. Very fun, very interactive. Here's another version. This is Mechathune by Mad Thanos. So again, it's the same idea. You slam down the Stealer of Souls, you play the Plot Twist, and in this case, you're trying to draw your entire deck. So the Valdris Felgorge helps speed up that process, increases your hand size, because this deck cycles a lot harder, and so you don't want to mill the Mechathune, so the Valdris lets you have more cards. The Hemet blows out the bottom end of your deck because you don't want it once you got the combo going. And then once your deck is empty, you just go Mechathune, Cataclysm, win the game. Let's go. I'm going to jump down here to the Malagos one because we're on the kind of Stealer theme here. So this is a Malagos version. So again, you play the Stealer of Souls, you play the Plot Twist, and in this case, what you want to do is you want to maybe play an Alexstrasza, set your opponent to 15 health. You can smack him with this one. You can draw all of your spells with Malagos the Spellweaver. You can just play regular Malagos. You can whack him in the face with Dark Bombs. Whack him in the face with Nether Breaths. Just another version of the deck. It's the same idea, just killing your opponent in different ways. Which way is the best? I'll leave that up to you to talk about in the comments. But there are other versions of Stealer Warlock floating around as well. Now, switching off from the Stealer decks, we've got Reno Warlock. So Reno Lock, it's the deck that never goes away. People love it. This is a bit of a crazy build, so just be careful. I haven't tested it myself, so if you're going to go ahead and craft it, for example, just be warned. Not to say it's bad, it's just I haven't tested it, and there's some cards in here that I don't typically play. Those cards being Altar of Fire, Depth Charge. I think the Venomous Scorbrid's a pretty good idea. The Death's Head Cultist is in here because it is a N'Zoth deck, so it makes sense to have that cheap Death Rattle minion. There's a Summoning Portal in there. There's Eater of Secrets because, you know, mages are annoying. Blade Master Samaru. There's a deck of Chaos in here, which I don't own at the moment, so might have to craft it if I want to try out this list. There's a Tarlurker in there. There's an Enslaved Fellord in here. I've never even seen this card before. 7 mana, 4/10 taunt. Also damages the minions next to whoever this attacks. I believe that's a new core card. But yeah, this is quite the deck. It's got the other N'Zoth as well. So, I mean, this could be amazing, or it could just be super greedy. But this is the only Reno Lock list I could find for this video. So if you want to try it out, let me know how it goes for you. Let me know in the comments below. Discard Warlock. You glance through this. There's nothing special about it, except that it's Discard Warlock. It's very aggressive. And if you want to punish the Stealer Warlocks, this is how you do it. Want to punish them even more? Just play Darkglare Warlock. This doesn't even run any new cards. It's just Darkglare Warlock. It's a fantastic deck. It was before the mini set. It is right now. So if you want to beat everything, just play Darkglare Warlock with no new cards. That's basically how to play Wild right now. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want to try out any of these decks, you'll find the deck codes in the description below. If you're a mobile user and it's difficult for you to copy codes from YouTube, there is a link to my Discord. You can join Discord, go to the deck lists only channel, get the deck codes there. If you want to help support this YouTube channel, you can click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, and until next time, hope to see you again.